to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
That's how I drug my balls over 200 yards in the snow.
Yeah.
And hey, no, we gotta. I probably need like another 5 or so seconds, and then because the whole montage things comes through, and then there's like a hugely large transition thing in Final Cut, and then I would say, hey, welcome to Sad Dads Club Podcast, episode 231. I'm the Lord Foo,
And I'm Jim.
We are cold as fuck.
Oh, gosh.
We would normally have a heater.
We would normally have a heater, but
the-
my mom dropped me off today.
Hi, Mom. Thanks for the Hot Pockets. You're the best.
I'll text her when she comes over and she can come get me.
So before we jump in, we had Ted, hashtag hey Ted. Hi, this is Ted from Tennessee. The cartoon character creations, we were all kinds of fucking wrong. So Ted had the wheezy guy.
The wheezy guy?
Yeah, the guy that laughs with.
Oh, yeah.
He had that. He nailed that, but I don't remember the name. But mutton something.
Oh, mutton chop or something?
Mutton shit. Mutton wipe.
Mutton.
I don't remember. But he had a picture, so he nailed that. And the guy that I was thinking of was Pete.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, I saw that.
And that spun out. So Pete is definitely the Disney character that I was thinking of. However, that spun out a pretty the rabbit hole type of thing about what people really think Goofy is. I think you pulled up a link that
he was a dog.
The voice actor considered him a spin-off of a dog variant. But Venus and a number of other the same link was doing a debate, and that his girlfriend Clarabelle was an anthropomorphic cow.
Right, because that makes sense because of the name Clarabelle.
Right. And then it shows him with other drawn characters that look like Goofy, and they were all cow variants. But the article ended up that you had was that he was a dog. The voice actor just generally presumed he was a dog. But there is a pretty significant schism between people that he's a dog. He's just a dog.
There's the dog camp and the cow camp.
And the cow camp.
Yeah.
And it's because this. So
that's funny.
There's that. If you want a rabbit hole about Disney and where the origins of Goofy and what kind of fucking anthropomorphic animal he is, that's a fun one.
I think we should just ask Walt.
Yeah. Hey. Or it'd be funny if one of the artists went, yeah, it's a cow. So then you would have the voice actor being like, no,
I've been doing that as a dog.
I've been doing it as my inspiration.
Yeah.
Was a species of dog.
Right.
And you'd have the character artist like, nah, man, that's like a variant of a polled Hereford.
He's dating a cow.
Yeah, it's an Angus, bitch. Like
you can't have dogs and cows dating.
Yeah, it's whoa, hey.
But Mickey Mouse is dating
Minnie.
Well, Minnie, that's true.
Well, you fucked up there. Where were you going with that?
I was thinking of Daisy Duck.
Yeah. No, Donald.
It's Mickey.
Yeah,
Minnie.
Yeah. Mouse is banging mouse.
Well, I mean, I guess that holds true.
So, there's that. Okay, so there's no heater.
Yeah. The heater's in my trunk.
The heater's in your trunk.
And so you would think I would have my car back by now. It's been almost 2 months.
Right. And then we had a happy update where you had it.
Oh, I did. I got it back. Yeah, that's right.
And it was dirty.
I got it back and it was filthy. It was a filthy animal, and that doesn't make me happy.
Then we went to Woodland in it. Not me, but you.
No, I mean, I got it back and I drove it for 2 days and the check engine light came back on.
Right.
The same code that I originally took the car in for. And so then I contact the shop. I'm like, hey, man, I got the same check engine light again. And he's just like, well, we can't do anything about it. And I'm like,
Gave up the ghost.
cool, man.
Yeah.
And then,
Figuratively.
yeah. So he's like, you should take it to the dealer or maybe a specialty shop or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a thing. And so then we got to talking and we said, well, the battery's never been changed out. If it's a low voltage code, which if you're in the cars, you want to look up a P2150 Cadillac ATS. And that code means it's a injector B voltage low code is what that code means. So then we got to talking. You and I did first.
Right.
It could be the battery.
Could be.
And, you know, if voltage, I mean, cars are super complex now. Computers and
Oh, yeah.
all kinds of crazy shit, right? And if you have a battery that's kind of sinking below what it should be doing, but still kind of doing the thing, then that could be causing issues in your electronics or who knows.
Absolutely.
So I ordered a battery. It was the same brand, this AC Delco, but the difference was that it was an 850 cranking amp battery versus the 800 that was in it. So a little bit bigger. Ordered it from Amazon. Dudes in a truck showed up at my house and delivered it. So I installed it, and then we met we drove about 45 minutes away to a town called Woodland.
Right.
To have lunch.
The best pupusas
that was really good.
Ever.
And we met you guys there and Mike, and we had lunch. Drove the Cadillac there and back. I just kind of bit the bullet. Car ran fine. However, before that, though, on the Wednesday prior, while we're sitting here doing the show, my wife sends a bunch of text messages that my car is now leaking coolant all over the floor, which it never did before.
Right. We were mid-show, and you're like, I've been distracted. I can't remember what we were talking about.
And so I had contacted the shop, and he's just like, I'm not touching. Or I sent him a couple of texts because that's how I normally talk to him, and he didn't reply. So I finally called the shop, and I'm like, hey, Al, I've been texting you. He's like, well, I haven't gotten them.
Oh, weird.
Oh, okay.
Them goddamn internets.
And I'm like, hey, since I got my car back from you, it's leaking coolant all over the floor. This car's never leaked anything, so we need to get this taken care of before I send it to another shop for the code that I originally took it to you for that you didn't fix.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I'm not doing it. We're not touching it. Straight up. Just told me, nope, I'm not touching it.
Mm-hmm.
So now I've got a P2150 and a coolant leak, and he's just leaving me hanging without taking care of the coolant leak that he caused.
Right.
So this is such a I feel like there's just so much to this story that almost if I don't write it down in a chronological, there's things that will get missed. So anyway, I end up taking it to a local shop, very respected shop. It's been around for like 30 years, called John's Auto Care here in Roseville.
Now, it's funny that you mentioned that because I was at a brunch thing on Saturday, just a small aside, and Venus's brother Keith, his dad Charlie, I went with when we did a Palm Desert golfing thing with Venus's grandpa Ed, Charlie, Keith, and myself. We went down there. He had, at the time, Venus's grandpa had like a trailer, like a mobile home park trailer thing in there, and so I'm really good friends with Keith's dad, Charlie. Mm-hmm. He has a Dodge 2500, I think also. It's 5 years newer than the one I have.
Okay.
I asked him, how is it? How's it doing? Whatnot, just kind of shooting the shit because your son had been talking about trucks recently.
Right.
And that evening in that discussion with your son, we were talking about, man, the price in which I bought my 2500 heavy duty full package, the amount I paid for that, you probably couldn't get a half-ton truck with so something of lesser towing, lesser weight capacity, like all of those things, less bells and whistles, I probably couldn't get a lesser truck for the same amount of price now. As much is how large the jump has gone for cars and trucks in general.
Yeah.
So I asked Charlie, I'm like, do you happen to remember like how much you paid for your truck new? And he's like, oh, he didn't really know, but it was a topic, and he mentioned that he had actually just brought it up here to a shop, and I think he had said he took it to John just to do like maintenance stuff because it was a place that he had done he's also like he's lived here all his life, and apparently he had taken all his other cars to this shop, and I went, I wonder if that's the same John's that you took the Cadillac to.
I'm sure it is.
So it's interesting so when you say it's a reputable and known place here in the area, I'm pretty sure it's not just smoke up the shit.
Yes.
It's I think I've heard it outside our circle.
Yeah.
So carry on.
So I took it to John's, gave him the rundown of the history and all that stuff, and told him battery, like the whole nine, like he gets the full thing,
right?
And unlike the previous shop, actually wanted to hear the stuff,
right?
The previous shop didn't give any shits. They just wanted to know, oh, there's a check engine light. We'll just use the code reader to like check that out. That's all they cared about. The incidental stuff, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't care about your stories. Which is funny because when we talk about solving problems in some of the automotive or tech shows that we watch online, some of the most, certainly when I solve problems at work, like nerd operating system, or even in your like QA stuff, like meticulous notes about what you saw, what you were doing when you saw a thing, and anything of your experience that you can add or color in the picture and then hand it to me so that I can figure out what happens. Like all of that to me is super valuable.
Right.
Like in gaming, in work, in shenanigans, it's all useful. So it's for you to take your car to a shop and they're like, we'll solve it from a code. Yeah. Yeah, but no, it's cool.
It's fine.
It's cool.
Yeah, they just didn't really care to hear it.
So
big difference. And then he can pick and choose because he's like, I'm going to there's some things I'm going to put down in here because if I give them too much information, they might tunnel vision this.
Right.
And so I'm like, hey, you do whatever you think you need to do for your techs. That's fine. I don't care.
Right.
You have all the info. Use whatever you need. So he's like, well, we won't be able to get to it for a while. I'm like, it doesn't matter. The car, I can't drive it. It's not doing me any good sitting in my garage, other than staying out of the rain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get a call from him the next morning.
Right.
The next morning.
They found some cycles.
They're like, hey, we think we're pretty confident what the problem is. We have some good data to back it up, and we think it's the PCU or the PMU or the EMCU or the PMACY. I don't know. It's one of the computers.
Computer brains is.
I've heard several ECU, PMUs. I don't know which one it is specifically.
Okay.
And he's like, so it looks like we need to order a computer and program a computer and install a computer. Okay, cool. Right on.
Okay.
Now it comes down to the warranty company.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was taking it to the old shop, fascinating to me, okay, I wouldn't pay anything out of pocket. It was literally $0 when I would have stuff that needed to be replaced. So I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take it to the non-home shop, you have $100 deductible. So instantly it's $100. That's not terrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
To have someone work on your car that you feel like they actually know and give a shit about what they're doing. And I'm okay with that. However, when it comes to this warranty company, if you give any shits, do not buy a Smart AutoCare warranty from any car dealer, please, because you will be disappointed. I bought the top of the line warranty, and you're going to hear why I say this. And I don't take that kind of stuff lightly. Mm-hmm. They are fighting over, number one, the shop rate, number two, the cost of the part, and number three, the labor to program the computer to install a new computer in the car. I don't know if you know how that works, but my understanding is the car has to be programmed into the computer in order for the computer to properly run on the car. That's my understanding.
Okay, right.
So we're fighting over all these things. The biggest one to me is the labor rate. I don't know where they pulled some of these numbers out of their asses, but they're claiming that the average shop rate around here is $130 an hour. Okay. John's shop rate is $169. So immediately we're almost $40 an hour
over the average.
Yeah. And I think that's crazy because I called personally 7 shops and got an average of $162.50 an hour.
Right.
So I don't know what fucking shops they're using to get their average rates for this job, but it's completely bullshit. Right. So this is what they claim this is how they claim they do it. However, today when I was talking to them on the phone, they also said basically that John's Auto Care told them previously that their shop rate was $130 an hour. And that's what they are basing their coverage on, is $130 an hour. And because John's doesn't actively call them on the daily or weekly basis and update them on their shop rate, which hasn't changed from my understanding for quite a while, that they cannot change the claim with the new shop rate. They cannot.
Like I have like so many questions,
dude. It's mind-boggling.
Like, and it's like it's one of those things to me that's like where the amount of nickel and diming and just shipping into the consumer is specifically intended to frustrate you.
So you'll give up.
So you will give up. Yeah. And that's where they make their money. You've already paid them for the warranty or your cell phone or whatever service contract for your widget or your vacuum or whatever the fuck it is. And the moment you have problems, there is some sort of fine print or special condition scenario that you weren't aware of because you're just... How many people read those pages upon pages of...
Oh, I have now.
Right. You do now. But in the end, you would hope, like, hey, man, you're taking my money. I'm not trying to bone you.
Yeah.
My car is legit broke. And I'm sure the mechanic can tell you that the reason it's broke right now is not because I was out driving it with 42s out in the fucking dunes at Hollister.
Right.
It's broke from something that was out of my control, and I would presume this is under the warranty. That's it. No shenanigans.
Oh, it specifically states in the warranty legalese that the computer module is covered.
Right. And so you've got this, like, where if you were someone that needed your car, you have a first world problem right now. And that is you have a car, but you don't fucking need it.
Oh, right.
You don't have a need. Now, if you were commuting...
Oh, I would be screwed.
You would be boned.
Yeah.
So, and there are people in that scenario where this exact situation is meant to push you to the point to where you have no options. You would then call them, fix it. I need the car.
Yeah.
And then what do? You charge it, you put it on credit, you put the thing that you need to buy for the kids or your wife or your spouse or your partner, that goes to the side, and now you're making payments and the thing is now you ate it.
Yeah.
And you already paid for the service.
Right.
And maybe if you run into time that you don't have because sad dad or sad mom or sad parent, this frustration just becomes like a thing that you have to get past.
Yeah.
Because
I just need to pay and get my car back.
Because you've got to go. Like the journey and the race doesn't stop for you. All it means is now you're paying for it.
Well,
again,
the big part of this too is, for me personally, I'm a hugely non-confrontational person. So for me to like get in some dude's grill, so to speak, about this kind of stuff is painful. It's not comfortable. I'm not enjoying it.
Right.
I shouldn't be doing this shit. And I told the guy on the phone today, "Oh, you're just taking advantage of people now. And I hope you sleep good tonight when you realize that you're just fucking people over for no reason whatsoever." You know what I mean? Like literally said that to him. I'm like, "I hope you can sleep tonight." Like, what the fuck? So essentially I just like, well, who do I need to talk to? Because this is now the second person. So I already talked to the bottom rung customer service guy.
Right.
And told her, gal, and I told her, I need to talk to the next guy. So then I got this guy, which I don't even know what his title was. But then he's like, well, I'm going to have to contact whoever the fuck it is. And maybe they can make an exception for you this one time.
Cool.
But it doesn't matter. Like, you're just fucking somebody when you base your shop rate on some old data that you decide not to change until it's too late.
Right. We've had when did you set this thing? We've had a fucking pandemic in the last 2 years. Like,
yeah. Is your fucking warranty so shitty that nobody uses it so it never gets updated? I don't know. Why is it the shop's job to like call every warranty company every week and go, this is our shop rate now? That makes no sense. First of all, they are submitting you paperwork via fax, via fucking PDF. I don't know. Mm-hmm. They're submitting it, and the shop rate is clearly stated on the paperwork that you got before the claim was even started. So don't tell me that the fucking shop rate wasn't updated until after the claim was started, because you have the paperwork that has it in there.
Right.
So I say, okay, well, how about this? Let's cancel that claim and start a new one, because you can't seem to change a claim that's in process. Oh no, we can't do that unless the car goes to a different shop. So that would mean that I would pay John's for all the diagnostic work and all the hours billed up until that point to get my car out of hock, right? To limp it to another shop to start a new claim and start all this process over again.
Right.
But with the very acute knowledge that the problem is the PMU, which I guess would be the only good thing.
Right.
But then I'm still going to spend money to get the car out of John's to take it to another shop to fucking deal with the same problem over again. Because did that shop call them and say, here's our shop rate this month?
Right.
I don't know. So the whole concept of he actually said that they didn't tell us what their new shop rate was. Well, first of all, he claims that they've had this shop rate forever. And he literally just called you a liar to my wife on the phone. He said you were a liar. We had John's on speakerphone on my wife's phone while we were talking to this clown at the Smart AutoCare warranty.
Oh boy,
people.
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
We're in new technology now, buddy. We're on a whole fucking Zoom call with you, and you're like spouting bullshit kind of stuff. Yeah,
see,
that doesn't work anymore.
I thought when my wife was there, like, oh, I should start a call with John's and then join that call because you can do that real easy.
Yeah.
Just join that call with the Smart AutoCare guy. I should just do that. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. But I should have, because that would have been fireworks.
Right.
But my point is that they are nickel and diming their way to fucking you out of your pocket.
Yes.
Not just from the shop rate, but the parts they won't budge on, period. So I'm going to end up eating the difference in the part between what they'll cover and what John says the part cost, which is probably a difference of like $80 or something. You know, like, what are you doing when you're nickel and diming $80? You know what I mean? And then like the amount of labor that it takes to program the computer. If you don't program the computer, then what good is the repair?
Right.
It's like saying, well, we cover, replacing your rocker arm, but we don't cover the gaskets that we need to put back on your valve cover.
So is my car going to run? Well,
Yeah, we don't cover the gaskets.
that part, it's, with the wand.
It's just mind blowing. There's so like whatever we can get away with, we will.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I just told the guy straight up, fine. I mean, if I end up having to pay a bunch of extra money, I'll just take you to small claims court. It's fine. Period. I don't care. Let them know. I don't care. I'm already taking Cal Auto to small claims court over the fact that they caused a coolant leak that I have to pay to repair.
Did you get that fixed?
No.
Oh,
but it's going to happen.
It will. Okay. Yeah.
So namaste. So essentially the car is at John's. They have the computer. They just don't have the authorization to start the repair because the fucking warranty company's fucking around with their pricing. And so that's where we're at. So I still don't have a car. Almost 2 months in. 2 months? When was Martin Luther King Day? Because that was the day I dropped it off.
Oh, this mid-January? 17th, 18th?
Martin Luther King Day was the 16th. So we are on, like 2.5, 2 and almost 3, 2 months, or a month and 3 weeks. Almost 2 months. We're getting there.
Good Lord.
For a fucking check engine code that I tried to get fixed. I mean, it's just bizarre. So anyway, do not buy a Smart AutoCare warranty. They will do everything they can to separate you from your money, in addition to shelling out the cash for the warranty itself. They make it all sound, it's funny because like there's a couple like text messages where I'd sent the guy where I'm like, hey, your website says that you pride yourselves in security and convenience and all these things. Like I said, I'm not experiencing any of those things. But here we are. Yeah. And then I thought it was even funnier that on their Facebook page, they had their last post on their Facebook page was like a photoshopped quote from a lady. Like they took her quote and put it in a Photoshop thing to make it look nice with her, Yeah. And then it said like, oh, yeah, it's a great thing and all this kind of shit. Right. And there was a guy that replied to that post on Twitter. Was it Twitter? I think it was on Twitter actually. And he says, oh, that's funny. Glad you got service because my $100 deductible usually ends up being 6, 7, or even 10 times what they said it was going to be. So this is the thing, right? This is how they get you. And I think if you don't fight back, you'll just get hosed. Yeah. And so I also had to comment on that.
I saw the tweet. Yeah. Because then I'm like, oh, wow, we're in scorched earth mode.
Oh, I'm in war. This is Ukraine versus Russia right here, buddy. You know what I mean? I'm asking for weapons from the U.S. right now. Please. Come on.
All your social medias. Yeah. It's lighting you up.
I really wish that I had a good friend or someone I knew that was pretty close to me that was a lawyer. That's what I wish. Yeah. I actually do have a service through the office that I subscribe to that will send legal letters on your behalf. Maybe I should do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Through work?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a service like I pay for. Yeah. That comes out of my paycheck.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's cheap. It's like, I don't know, $8 a month or something. I'm like, yeah, pre-tax or whatever. Sure.
It's funny because you mentioned the lawyer because the bank has one of those things too. Like if you want to chip in to get legal coverage for something that you might get roped into for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Earlier in the week, someone in one of our meetings when they were talking about return to office shenanigans. And one of the policies from a year back was that they were kicking around was that, hey, man, if you didn't live within X amount of distance of this, you were going to either be expected to move,
right,
or you were out of a job kind of thing. And as return to office has started to kick around, they've left some of those really far distant people out of the mix, but those that are within a X amount of radius of some of the offices, they're in like a 3-2. So 3 days a week. Next week is 2 days a week. 3 days a week, 2 days a week. To get people back into the office, and someone was earlier in the week was
justify all of their leases.
Right. And someone was like, so as we get back into these things, right. As we get back into these things, he's like, I'm glad I'm chipping in to that legal thing because if they decide that they can me because I'm so far away that I can't move, but I don't quit, but I'm not gonna. He's like, I'm gonna use their legal team to fight themselves. To defend me against a legal action of terminating kind of thing.
Right.
And everyone's just like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know if that's how it would really work because I'm sure whatever state is an at-will thing. So I'm sure it wouldn't work out anyway.
Well, and part of that is that I'm sure he's paying for that.
Right.
So as soon as he's not paying for it, it's gone.
The whole hypothetical was fun.
Right.
And like everyone was just like, yeah, rah, fuck them for fucking us. And then we'll take their lawyers and use them to fight it. Oh, ha, ha, ha. But it was like, in the end, when like all the dust settled, I think everyone went, yeah, but we'd probably be out of a job. So.
Yeah. You'd be worried about something new.
Yeah. You'd be like, well, fucking now I've got to start interviewing.
What's happening on Indeed or whatever.
Yeah. I'm going to still update my LinkedIn and my Indeed. I'm going to go to Reddit.
Yeah. Oh, man. So,
hey, man, if they'll send a legal thing for you.
They're that's one of the services that they provide is like you can get like your will done through them.
Oh, yeah.
That's part of the reason why I subscribe to it because I'm like, we need to get a will done, not a wildo, a will done.
Yeah, or dildo. What?
But that was part of the reason why I subscribed. But they also will like strongly worded letters and
that's like fucking awesome
on lawyer letterhead and that kind of stuff. So I'm like, well, we'll see.
I could ask Nat to send something nasty in like French.
Oh,
with like a stamped letterhead, and just be like, it could just be like a recipe. I don't know, but and just put it in a paragraph form.
Yeah, with a lot of like umlauts over all the letters and shit.
Throw a tilde in there, and some umlauts, and just a word that's just backwards.
Yeah,
and it could be and like, is that French? I don't know. I think it's Spanish.
I don't know. It says that we should give this guy $1,000. Yeah. We should probably just do it.
I don't know. Did you see the stamp on this thing? It looks like it's notarized. I don't know.
Shit's embossed.
Yeah. Wow. It's not even Comic Sans. So it's got to be fancy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, business. It means business when you got a Comic Sans letter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
To whom it may concern. Well, shit. It's over. I mean, they didn't even address me by my name. It says to whom it may concern. It's
in Comic Sans.
Yeah, wow.
We are fucked.
It's over. It was filed for bankruptcy.
But I mean, they say, I think it's funny about small claims court is they say you shouldn't represent yourself in court, but that's what small claims court is all about.
I don't know.
I actually did take. This is many years ago, back when I had a Hyundai XL, a Hyundai XL. It had an '88 Hyundai XL, and it had an extended warranty, but it was purchased through the dealer when the car was new.
Mm-hmm.
And the struts both went bad on it, and so I took it in to the dealer, and I'm like, "Oh, the struts are bad," and they're like, "Okay, with the extended warranty, yeah." And then they're like, "The warranty company won't cover it." What do you mean? Because whatever, some part in the strut failed, not the strut itself. I'm like, that's part of the strut, Right. And they're like, yeah, they won't cover it. So I'm like,
what?
Yeah, and it was, I don't know, $200 or $300 at the time. It wasn't much money, but I mean, back then it was a lot of money.
Right.
When you're in college and have no money. So anyway, so I took him to small claims court, and I went to court. I think I went with my dad. We went to court and showed up. And they didn't show up, which is the best case scenario because it automatically goes to you. Mm-hmm. And I won that court case. And then, I don't know, a few weeks later, I just got a check in the mail. And I'd forgotten about the whole thing.
Your Honor, I would like to be referred to as the Honorable Jim Schroeder.
That's right. Esquire.
Yeah. You're pressing your luck, Mr. Schroeder. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, did I win?
Well, thanks for the ruling.
Yeah, thanks. Objection.
Rock on.
Right, okay.
And then ride my skateboard out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace out, bitches. Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was my forte into law right there, was that court case. But I think that's just a funny thing. But it's going to happen. I'm going to have probably two court cases. I'm gonna file. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So that's what's gonna happen.
It's the whole battery thing of late is a lot of a lot of roads all seem to be converging on this. Like that. I just replaced the RS battery.
Yeah.
Venus's battery out of nowhere died. Replaced that one. Yours.
Yeah.
Whether or not that was the case, but it was still at an age where it was probably not hurting you to replace it anyway.
Mine was like a thing where I couldn't make a determination if that was the original battery that came in the car or not.
And let's see, today's Wednesday. So Monday night, I had to replace the truck battery. The truck battery was a 2017.
Yeah.
And the whole story with that
5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, 6 years.
Yeah. It hit its.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It was time.
And when my dad was here Friday, it's a dump run thing that it's been down here, but the amount of rain that we've had, and trying to make those runs and be outside for yard work and fill the bed up and take it to the dump, it's like been hit and miss. So I'm not getting out to do that. So it's been parked for a while. My dad was down here Friday. We were talking about, I think we were talking about the truck talk that we were talking with your son and Mike about the night before or whatnot.
Right. And
I write down on a post-it note, I'm like, fuck, before I forget, start RV, start truck. Friday. Post-it note, I put it on my my placemat, essentially, at the table. Yeah, remember to do this. Sunday, absolutely just balls to the wall work. They didn't get to it Friday, didn't get to it Saturday. Sunday work was absolutely just roasted me. I didn't get to it Sunday. Monday, if you're I think the storm that's been hitting us is anybody pretty much on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Huge cold front coming out of Alaska is putting snow and low temperatures at sea level.
At crazy low elevation.
Right. And it's sticking at moderate levels above 500 feet if you're catching good precipitation. So we're getting some precipitation from the Pineapple Express and this insanely cold front out of Alaska, Canada. And it is making snow shenanigans. Monday, my brother goes, he works up the hill towards my dad, and the girls go to school where I went to elementary school, middle school. So they're 40 minutes up the hill. The elevation up there is 1,200 to 17-ish where my
Yeah.
dad is at. This storm started dumping snow of accumulation at 1,000. And my dad is, about 500 or so above that. And my brother goes up there, gets to work, drops his daughter off at school, goes to work, which is about 10 minutes away. And he starts like looking, and it's coming down. Like the snow is okay.
Should I leave?
Should I leave? Clear Creek had already last week, when it was starting to do the snow flurry stuff, of not really accumulation, but they're like, pull the plug. We already got our our monies for attendance. We already took roll today, so haha, the kids can go. They had a snow day or last week at some point anyway. So he's like looking outside, he's looking at the weather, and he's like, this is starting to stick and get business. I'm going to get a call anyway. But he's got a front-wheel drive Kia. So where he's at is at just enough elevation, and his view, even though he was kind of like eyeballing it, like, this is going to get sideways fast. He waited too long. He tries to leave to jump the gun of getting called, only to then get stuck himself. So he calls my dad and says, they're going to call. Just already start the drive. It's only 10 minutes away, but start the drive and go, because in that interim, I guarantee you they're going to call, and then,
I won't make it.
I won't. I'm definitely not going to make it. He's like, I'm stuck, and the amount of shenanigans I'm trying to do to try and get myself out, it's only fucking me. So go before my dad gets stuck.
Yeah.
And
what's your? I don't think I know what your dad's car is.
It is a Ford Fusion.
Okay.
So
that's right.
4-cylinder, front-wheel drive, 4-door.
Yeah.
I think the replacement for the Taurus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my dad takes off, gets.
And is it snowing at his house at that point?
He is getting dusting.
Yeah.
But it's not really
sticking around,
hampering him from getting out. The problem is he kind of lives in a bowl, and to get up towards Clear Creek, it was snowing there. So he left at the exact time he needed to in order for my dad, as an older driver in a front-wheel drive car, to not get fucked by the storm that was accelerating the snowdrop.
Right.
So he gets to Clear Creek, gets back. My brother, who is on a job site with a person with a 4x4 who also has kids at Clear Creek, essentially he comes up behind Brett, sees that he's stuck. He's like, well, I'll take you. You're on the way. Your dad is on the way to him picking up his girls. I'll just drop you off. So he hitches a ride to essentially the bottom of the road.
Leaving his car stuck.
And he calls me, and he's like, can you come and get me? I need to get back down the hill. I'm like, okay, sure. All right. And he's like, it is snowing. I'm like, do I need to bring the truck? And he's like, no. But at that point,
famous last words.
Right. He's still in that semi-bowl area where he has no observation of the elevations on the other side. And my dad, in going to get his granddaughter and back, Dad wasn't really exposed to full tilt shenanigans, but would have been. But he didn't see it either. He just saw, it's starting to get shit, and his car is stuck. He needs a ride down. I'm like, fuck it. It was like midday. I'm like, I'll just take a long lunch. Absolutely. But I need the truck. Now you're good. Well, I can bring the truck, and we'll work on getting your car out. He's like, just get me back down the hill. It was his birthday. So he's like, kick day. Fucking, we'll worry about it later. No one's going to fuck with my car. It's country. So all right, fucking, I'm going to take a long lunch. Brother stuck in the snow. Fucking good luck. See ya.
Yeah.
I start heading up the hill. I get to
In the RS.
in the RS.
Of course.
Yeah. He's like, "Is your car all-wheel drive?" I'm like, "My fucking car has all the wheel drives, babies."
It's got some extra wheels,
And I've
too.
got the fucking the all seasons on there, and with what he described, I'm like, "Ha, point and laugh."
No
brother.
problem.
Yeah, point
Yeah.
and laugh. Brother got stuck. I asked if I should take the truck. He said no, and he's up there in the snow. So I'm thinking
Famous last words.
we're fine.
Yeah.
I get to Forest Hill, so about 25 minutes or so from here, and it starts slushy snow. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'm gonna be...
Which is another world away from where your dad's at. Or from where your brother's at.
There's a good amount of elevation still to go,
Yeah.
and it's slushy.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. In the span of Forest Hill to Bowman, which is about 5 minutes tops,
Yeah.
at 65, 75
Yeah.
speed,
80.
it is inch of snow and snowing.
Yeah.
And I went, fuck, I may actually get turned around before I even get close.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, fuck, well, he said no truck. I'm like, what the fuck? I get off on Bowman. I get into Auburn proper. So the, Bell.
Yeah.
I come into Auburn right there at the Bell intersection, the gas station, the McDonald's,
The taco tree?
That's Dry Creek.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah. So, and it turns back into rain. So the elevation of Bowman and Forest Hill, I've come back down,
Yeah.
and now it's raining. I'm like,
It'll get you every time.
I'm like, okay.
It's lulling you into sleep.
Yeah. I get to Dry Creek, and it's still rainy. I come down into that valley where Bear River comes across.
Yeah.
There's a winery on the right-hand side, the guy that's collecting old vintage fire trucks on the left,
Yeah.
and it starts to turn back into snow again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. I mean,
It's getting
I talked
dicey.
on the show, I think somewhere around Christmas, where I got stuck up in Grass Valley proper, like with snow, about 2 inch of like me, I'm the guy making the treads
Yeah.
kind of thing. RS did fine. So I am confident I'll be okay. There's not enough snow on the ground yet, but it's twisty, turny shit.
Yeah.
And slopes and grades and
2-lane roads with tight turns.
right.
and-
So I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Based off what's on the ground and how it's coming down, I'm like, we'll be okay.
So he's beyond Clear Creek, like towards Grass Valley? Or
He's
beyond-
not quite Clear Creek. He's within 2-3 minutes of Clear Creek.
Who?
My dad.
No, your brother. You were going to get your brother?
Right.
Oh, at
and
your
my
dad's
brother
house.
is at my dad's.
Okay,
He has made it,
he's made it
at
there.
least to my dad. So
Okay.
he's got a stopping
So
point.
you just got to go to your dad's
All I
house.
have to do is get to
I
my
gotcha.
dad's.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, well, easy. Cake. But it is now snowing and accumulating at Combi and Wolf. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, well, okay.
White knuckle.
Right. And I've got a decent-sized, I think it was a Tahoe, was in front of me.
Making tracks.
So I'm like, if this guy starts to get sideways, then I'd be concerned. So I gave him tons of space. I'm like,
Did you put it in 4 low?
yeah, totally. All the lows. I was like, fucking, I'm just putting this thing in drift mode and we'll just slide sideways the whole way there. We get past one of the Montessori schools, and we are now in the business. It is a good inch to 2 inches on the ground everywhere. And I'm like, man, I don't think I have been on this road with this amount of snow
Yeah.
ever. Like, okay, I've been on a road with this amount of snow many times, including in the RS, but on this road, not.
Right.
So I have driving experience. I'm very confident in it, but this was a net new, and I was kind of like, wow, this is new. All right. I've got cars in front of me. I'm totally fine. We get to the one stop sign at Limekiln and Dugan's.
Yeah.
And you would recognize that it is a one-way stop.
Yeah. It's one way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a stop on
but
the side.
it's a three intersection.
Yeah.
But it goes into an uphill grade if you're going towards my dad's.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, here's going to be here's the litmus test. If this Tahoe starts getting squirrely, then I know, well, it's going to be... But it's only it's maybe a mile and a half of this grade. And if I get past that, I'll be fine. I'll worry about that downgrade after the left-hand hairpin later. The Tahoe starts to take off. It's a non-issue. He gets about a quarter mile, though, and we get around one of the turns, and it's stopped traffic.
Oh, that's the worst.
Right. We are on a grade, stopped.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on
because
here?
the problem is that you're going to have invariably another vehicle, at least one.
Right.
At least.
Right.
That is probably two-wheel drive.
Right.
That cannot pull itself up the hill because it is going to lose traction.
Right. There were 3 of those.
Oh, good.
On the uphill. It was like a series of front-wheel drive sedans.
Not that I have any experience with that. Holy shit.
What? It pulled off. Now, that shoulder is balls to begin with, so I already feel bad for the undercarriage of these cars. Because there's no real shoulder there. So because there's no real shoulder, they're kind of like 1/3 of the car is still on. Then you have the issue where the oncoming traffic is stopped because some of them are also, there was at least 3 cars coming down that were stopped with hazard lights on right in front of the set of 4 cars that were going up that were semi-shouldered because the cars coming down the hill, I take it, did not want to gamble with what would happen if they started sliding down this. It's all downhill.
Yeah.
It is all downhill.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them started already sliding and went, fuck it. So everyone is stopped to where now this is a fucking like chicane type of thing. The V8 Tundra behind me with fucking massive 40s or whatever, he wanted no part of it. He was like, fuck it, I'm out. He comes,
U-turn?
He just comes out and just says, I'm doing it.
Around.
And he went around me and the Tahoe in front of me like, fuck it.
Yeah.
The Tahoe, I don't know, emasculated, decides, okay, I'll follow the...
Well, he did it.
He can do it. So he follows and fucking, I'm like, well, fucking, the tracks that this guy left were...
Cleaning you up.
Yeah, just short of snowplow. I'm like, well, if I lose traction, it was never meant to be, and whatever. RS had no problems. Get up, get through it.
Did you feel any slip at all?
None.
Okay.
None. And a lot of that was because I wasn't paving the road, so to speak.
True.
I was behind someone with distance, and it wasn't falling so fast.
They were spreading it out for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So... safe driving the whole way. RS never let me down. Never lost traction anywhere.
Yeah.
Completely managed it. The hairpin 90-degree left at the bottom of that when you come back down, and then you start that next set of downgrade.
Mm-hmm.
So it is certainly, I'm not going to say blizzard, and it's not whiteout, but it is falling.
Yeah.
It is actively snowing and accumulating. An F-150 at that turn that was on a downgrade, he ate the 15-mile-an-hour speed sign.
Oh, wow.
He's off. I'm like, all-wheel drive, bitches.
Oh, shit.
He was safe. He was out of it, and another truck was helping him out.
Mm-hmm.
But he, too fast, I'm in a truck. Just because you're in a fucking truck doesn't mean shit. If you don't drive appropriately for the conditions.
Right.
So he ate it. I'm like, all right. Midway through that downgrade, as someone that's driven there, you know, it kind of gets, there's a creek that runs down there, and I think it's like an inversion layer happened, and it's midway down the hill, it turned back into rain. So my apprehension of, on my way back out of here, like, if this was all snow, it would have been...
Yeah, but seeing as how it's rained
But it
right
turned
there.
to rain, turned to slush. It was actively melting.
You'll get some grip
I'm like,
there.
oh, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Now, I was concerned about what would happen at the chicanery that happened earlier because those guys were clearly stopped in fucking traffic. So I'm like,
Will it clear up?
Will it clear up? What will happen here? I'll worry about that when I get here.
Because the problem is where you're going to. There's only two ways to get out of there, right?
And
it's up and out to the shit because you're gonna
Or
it's gonna get worse,
right?
Or you're gonna go back down the way you came,
right?
Yeah,
right. So and Grass Valley was only going to be a higher elevation with more snow. So if I was going to get out, it was going to be the way I came, and I was already like, yeah, but at the top of that thing, it was going to be problematic, like if it didn't stop. So I get to my dad's, and I basically go, we got to go. Like,
get in, let's go.
Yeah, there is a window, and we are in it. And if we don't, then we're all eating dinner here. Yeah.
And I'll see you in the morning also.
Yeah, and we're all in sleeping bags, and I'll make a fire because fucking we ain't going anywhere.
Right.
And then I look at my dad. I'm like, "You're not going anywhere either. Like you're done here because you're not getting this fusion out."
And I hope you have what you need at the house because no Grubhub either.
Yeah, no one's gonna get to you, and you aren't going anywhere from here. He's like, "No, I'm fine. I'm fine." I'm like, "Good, because fucking bye. We're out." Like,
yeah, good to see you. See you.
Yeah, see you. Bye. The way out, I ended up going. We got to the top of that peak, and instead of, I saw some taillights, but I didn't know if they were moving at the place where the tundra led us all through. I didn't want to get in the grade to find out that it was still fucked. So I made that right-hand turn that kind of takes you. There's a couple wineries or something, and it winds you back through. There's a back way.
Okay.
I went through that and just came out. There's not very many grades. It was just a little bit slower going because I was like a car of a few, so I was making the tracks. But it was fine.
Yeah.
But I think we talked about. So made it home. Everything was fine. But it put one of those and I think my brother realized it too today because he went to try and go get his car. So today's Wednesday. I think he tried to go get his car yesterday, and yesterday was another really bad snow day.
Yeah.
Like it was all the way up into the mid-afternoon, I think.
Yeah.
He took his #HeyKim. He took Kim's car, front-wheel drive, like EV, and tried to shoot a window. He got up to it, but only got it stuck. Like he got up to the car without problem or weather, and then spent like an hour or so trying to see if he could get it out, but only made it worse.
Oh.
And then it started to snow on him, and he's like, so I had to fucking leave because otherwise I was going to get my wife's car stuck up there and then be hosed. So he took the truck up there to get it, AAA tow his car out. But it put something that I don't think he or I, who go up there and spend time with Dad, and we talked about it in Discord, like the Dad isn't, he's still a capable driver, and the truck is his, but I had the truck. So if Dad needed to go somewhere or was in a health emergency, he would have been hosed.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. I have the truck. Clearly, my brother and I came to Jesus. I'm like, well, when he took the truck this afternoon, leave the truck up at Dad's because apparently now we're in a place with the weather where he may need it in an emergency.
For the winter, for sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And he should have that, and it's his truck anyway.
Yeah.
But then, I had a talk with Venus last night where I remember as a teenager when my grandpa lived in Lake Wildwood, as he got older, my dad would drive from the house. He would go pick up my grandpa in Lake Wildwood and then drive him to the house, and we would have dinner or barbecue, whatnot. And then my dad would drive him back. In all of those scenarios, both sides had a four-wheel drive vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I live 40 plus minutes from my dad. If my dad needed me to get to the house, while I do have a capable and confident all-wheel drive vehicle, I do not have a 4x4.
Right.
Venus has an all-wheel drive Explorer, but as our conversation between her and I, it is an urbanized all-wheel drive thing. It has more ground clearance than the RS, but it is not a 4x4. It's
not a typical snowbound.
It is not a snow vehicle.
Yeah.
And if my dad got stuck somewhere or my brother got stuck somewhere, I have no thing of my own to get to him or get someone out in an emergency on my own. And it just fuck.
So did you order a Bronco?
Yeah, man, I tried to convince. I tell you, I tried to convince Venus real hard. I'm like,
I mean the Bronco.
I'm like, she was like, so what you're saying is when I need to turn the Explorer in for what?
No, you keep the Explorer.
Right.
Let's just get a Bronco.
Right. And she's kind of like looking at me, and I go, well, the options, and she's like, what? And I went, well, it would be a Bronco. It's like it's literally the 4x4 and the thing. And she's like,
It has to be the Sasquatch.
And right. Duh. It doesn't have to be the Bronco Raptor.
Right.
You could,
just the Sasquatch package.
Yeah, it's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to get winches.
I mean, I got 2 winches here at the house, but I need one for the Bronco.
Right. I need one that can actually do work. Whoa.
Yeah, instead of swirling the cauldron.
Yeah. Oh, cackling.
I love you, Venus. Sorry.
Yeah, hashtag I love your wife. And the whole thing, talking about what her next vehicle would be to replace it, and they got to and we talked about tire options. There would nothing preventing us from kind of how I have with the RS. I have the set of the Sport Cup 2s on wheels, and I trade them out
right
when I want. Technically, we could. It doesn't have to be a car. We could bridge the gap.
If you just decided to change the all-season tires out for some decent snow tires,
right,
you would be set.
Absolutely. Yeah. I said that. I think that, and it was her idea. Full credit. It was her idea. She's like, why could we do something like the RS?
Or
just buy really good snow tires and just
for the Explorer. You could do that too.
Right. That's what she.
Oh,
yeah. She was talking about for the Explorer.
Oh, okay.
She was like, she wasn't hot on having another set, a stack of tires. She's like, I'll tuck in a tire barn here, but
you just need a tire rack to fit up on the wall.
It's not the cost of a vehicle, and then absolutely. I mean,
and no insurance required.
Right. It's all smart ideas, and we got to that. I'm like, yeah, but that. It doesn't have to be your vehicle that gets modified and whatnot. I said,
I want to put a lift kit on the RS.
Right. I said we could get the tank treads that that Hammond put on in that one episode of
those are cool, actually.
Yeah, Grand Tour.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, but you couldn't drive that on the freeway. I'm like, I mean, I could. I would look really cool. Anyway,
you just go slower.
I'm like. If this was something that I'm concerned about and that I needed to do, I said, this is one of those adulting things where I would be like, I would get good money for the RS. And if it meant that I had to turn that in to get something that was more utilitarian for where I'm at right now and our parents, I said, I'm okay with that. I said, I always have the Z. I said, if I want a fun, zip car.
Oh, yeah.
I said I could put that on the Z, and that's the where I put money, and that becomes that thing. She's like, yeah, I don't like that. She loves the RS. Yeah. She's like, you can't get rid of it. And I went, I'm going to twist my arm here. So it was interesting. I mean, it's a really good car.
Yeah.
But it raised a very net new adulting thing. Because, like I said, I'm always like wishing on a lamp for a winning lotto ticket, because I've got Facebook Marketplace for like used Jeeps and used Broncos and Internationals and Scouts, and because like I would like to fix one of those and like have a true snow rig, or a Tacoma or a Ranger, or a small truck that like the old 80s, late 80s Toyotas, like Marty McFly's in Back to the Future. Like something like that would be capable, utilitarian, not hard to fix or repair because the parts are dime a dozen.
I mean, I sent you guys that video, a couple videos today of I don't even know what kind of car they were in.
I kept watching to see if we would get a shot of the rig he was driving around in.
But they were in some kind of 4-wheel drive, maybe a Bronco or a truck pickup. I don't even know.
White something.
And they were driving around in the blizzard on what I considered to be closed highways, because I thought all those highways were closed for a while, like 80 and stuff. But they were driving around in Donner, and he was out in looked like Serene Lakes area near Sugar Bowl and stuff.
Yeah.
And driving around all the neighborhoods and showing the house. And he's just filming. He's not talking.
Yeah, it was like an ASMR thing.
Yeah, and the passenger window was down, and it was like they were holding the GoPro out the window, just shooting them driving, and it was like the crunch of the tires.
Yeah.
Just cruising through the that's all you could hear was the sound of the tires crunching through the snow. And it was fascinating, but also the thing that really caught my attention was like, whatever vehicle this is, it's outfitted with good snow tires.
Oh yeah, capable.
That car gave no shits.
Right.
About
I never saw.
They
nothing.
They never lost traction. They never got stuck.
Yeah.
They were videotaping people getting pulled out, like these big pickup trucks that have the Cars movie, like I'm afraid to go off road.
Brodozer.
Yeah, several of those trucks they're filming, like bulldozers pulling them out and that kind of stuff. That just stuff cracks me up. But whatever they were driving, they drove that thing from all the way through Donner Summit into Truckee, and from Truckee to Tahoe City, and then all the way around to the South Shore in dumping snow
with
no chains. Yeah. Zero fucks. And I just thought, I told my wife that is something I would love to have, is a snow capable vehicle where you could just say, fuck it, I'm going up.
Right.
And you just do it.
Right.
And it doesn't care, and you can go.
Right. And there was the thing too, as I put it in the chat, like, when it comes to like the roadway and just general practice, I have an inherent need to be a good Samaritan.
Yeah.
And so, in the talk with Venus, I'm like, and you guys, particularly Mike, because we see wavelength a lot on that kind of thing. It is like, I felt bad in passing some of those people struggling on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Because while I would be capable in knowing how to help them, I did not have a vehicle to assist in any way. I would only be adding to the complexity of the problem.
And also, you had your own timeline thing happening.
Right.
That what didn't include stopping for 45 minutes and helping somebody out.
Right.
Sometimes there's a fine line between being able to help out and you were already in a mission to help somebody else out. Right?
Yeah. So
there you had a
right.
You know.
Yeah. And we've talked like with Venus. She's like, yeah, if you had a Jeep, and we're like, what would you do with it? And I kicked that idea around a lot. I think it was last year. I'm like, I would like to just have like a really nice rig that was very capable, and I would just go up to some of these, like where I know the kids have gone, Piper and her friends, and some of their Jeeps and some of the trails that they've gone on, and take a rig somewhere about halfway on the route, and then just sit there with sandwiches and gas and supplies and just wait. Someone's going to get stuck.
That's funny that you're talking about this. We ran into one of my wife's coworkers on a walk the other day, and they were talking about how their son went up into the snow and got the car stuck.
Okay.
This is like a week or two ago, so it wasn't that long ago, but there's a lot of snow up there.
Oh, yeah.
Got the car stuck, and he didn't have cell service where the car, so he's like hiking up a hill to get service, and like he's doing this whole thing, and no one had heard from him for hours. Well, as it turns out, there is a group of people that you can become part of that are volunteers. They don't even take money. That go, and if there's somebody that needs help, they will go fish them out and help them. That's my thing. I would love to do that. Like, just good Samaritan stuff. Yeah. And they were like, no, we don't. She tried to give him money. They're like, no, it's all volunteer. She goes, look, you paid for gas to get up here. You didn't have to do this, blah, blah, blah. And she made sure that they took gas money at a minimum. Yeah. But like, they were adamant about not taking any money at first, and they finally relented and took some gas money. But I thought, man, that's really cool. I would love, like, if I was retired or I was done with like needing to work day to day, like, I feel like that's in my bones. Like, I would take a rig. Like, I know some of these people are, the guy who's probably driving around and just filming it for ASMR stuff, like, or on my way up the hill. I'd be like, once I get Brett back down, right? I'll head back up the hill, like, the trees that are covering the road. Like, I'd keep a chainsaw on the back, get this stuff off the road. Yeah. Or are you stuck? You don't want me to tow you? That's fine. I can help you put your chains on, and now I'll pull my thing way off the road. I got water. Do you need? I got PB&Js. You got a nut allergy? I got tofu. That's good. I would love to do that. I could spend my time just helping people. I would love to do that. Well, I guess the kid that came and rescued their son lived in like Carmichael or something, and beat feet like. And he was saying, a Facebook group? I don't remember exactly if they have a website or whatever. Okay. But he was saying, "Oh no, I'm so excited to do this. This is the first one I got to go on because other people always pick them before I can get to them. Like, I'm either busy, I'm doing something at the time, and so someone else will grab it. This is the first one I got to do, so I was really excited to be able to come up here and do this. And he was just like beaming, like he was so excited to come use all this gear he had purchased, like winches and whatever fucking shit for his Jeep. Yeah, that he was able to go help her son get stuck out of the snow. So, and she was like, "You paid for a bunch of gas. You didn't have to do that. Just take some money." Yeah. And he finally took some money. She's like, "Let me buy you lunch and take some gas money." So, yeah, I just thought that was really cool. I didn't know that was even a thing. I would love to know the details on that. Yeah, like wherever the group is, if you find it. Yeah, I'll have my wife touch base. Yeah, and I'll get that info for you. I have no vehicle to even be a participant, but one day I would. I always kind of feel like that. I always hope that would happen for me too, but because to me, it hasn't been in the cards thus far. As someone that grew up in that area, it's in my genes. Yeah. Like I came from a place where literally, it's that red dirt, man, is stained. It's just how you treated your neighbors. Yeah. I don't really have that down here, but people just seem a little bit more isolated, and some of that's on me, absolutely. But when I cross that line, certainly like at Dry Creek, country me is like, someone's on the side road. You could help this person. Like it's like an inherent need to be the good Samaritan and make sure someone gets home safe. Like the Christmas holidays, getting the grandma home. Right. Like, doesn't know where she's going. Just follow me, man. We're good to go. She's like, I'll take my dentures out and give you the old fashioned. I'm like, it's all good. I'm happily married. I was taking Max for a walk, and we were walking down the street, and there's this house that's just like my model. And this old lady, I guess, that lives there was like creeping down the driveway. I mean, she's very old, so like very slowly creeping down the driveway, and it was like trash day or after trash day.
Okay.
And her can was down. I'm like, oh, do you need some help getting your can back out? And she's like, what? Do you need help pulling your can in? What? I mean, this went on like 3 or 4 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then finally she's like, oh no, they forgot to pick it up. And and I was like, I really tried, right, to help this lady. But first of all, it was awkward right out of the gate. And then it was like, oh no, they forgot to pick it up.
Oh.
So that cracked me up.
Like,
and I was like, all right,
would
cool.
you like me to slap your cans? What? I'm all out of bread, son.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll put a load on your forehead.
she would have had no idea what it was.
Mow my lawn. Oh, it's fake grass.
Oh, it just cracked me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I tried.
You did your best. We are at time, sir.
All right. Well, don't buy a warranty.
From Smart what?
Do not buy a warranty from Smart AutoCare. They will fuck you.
Not in the good way.
Yeah. No, yeah. You won't enjoy this one.
Yeah. This is like going to the Mustang Ranch and coming back with syphilis.
This is like getting touched in the no-no zone.
Yeah.
You know, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't let them touch your fart box, whatever you do.
It's glass cactus. Ooh. Well, on that note, be sure to, you won't get it. Wash your hands, wash your ass, wear the mask, return the card, get the shot, check your oil, Tony. Register to vote, make the call.
Do the kindness.
We will catch you next week.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Glass cactus fart box. Holy shit. Bye.